It's time to Take 10 with the Chamber, sponsored by Pepsi Nye Bottling, where we meet the entrepreneurs, leaders, and business owners who make Bemidji go. Here are your hosts, the Executive Director of the Bemidji Area Chamber of Commerce, Abby Randall, and Kev Jackson.
And welcome to Take 10 with the Chamber. Each month we bring you a new Chamber member guest and set the timer to interview them and find out what's going on in their world, but for only 10 minutes. Our guests are very busy people, and we know you're very busy as well. So we're going to give you some great content, but not tie you up for an hour or more. We'll get rolling right after this from Pepsi Nye Bottling. Pepsi Nye Bottling is a family-owned business that has been part of the Bemidji area for over 70 years and is proud to be a member of the Bemidji Area Chamber of Commerce. Here's General Manager Gail Reese.
Well, they're a great family. We have 4 generations now that have been involved. Their grandfather Frank, their father Gordy, and now the 4 boys, and then their kids. We've got 5 of those kids working at the plant. It is different, a family-run operation. In a lot of ways it's better, but the fact is that the ties the community together with the family living here makes a big difference. Previously, when I worked, say for instance in Lincoln, none of our ownership lived there. They all lived elsewhere. They came in and inspected and saw what you were doing, and they got reports on what you're doing, but here, they live here. They know what's going on. They don't let you get by with too much malarkey. You got to toe the line, so.
Pepsi Nye Bottling, refreshing Bemidji for over 70 years. Welcome back to Take 10 with the Chamber. We're going to talk for 8 minutes and 45 seconds of business-related questions, and then it's the fun rapid fire. So let's get started. Abby, it's all yours.
Thanks, Kev. Today we have Cindy Boe with us. She is the Assistant Director of Career Services of Bemidji State University and Northwest Technical College. Good to have you with us today, Cindy.
Hi, Abby. Thanks.
Yeah. Are you ready?
As I can be.
Are you ready to set the clock?
Oh, good thing that you reminded me to do that.
This is all new to us. Cindy, you're in on the ground floor. This is exciting stuff. This is soon going to be an international sensation, and you'll be part of it. All right.
Incredible.
That's incredible.
Are you ready?
Well, I don't know. All right. Ready. Timer set.
So, Cindy, first off, tell us about you and where you work.
Absolutely. Well, I have the pleasure of working on the Career Services team at Bemidji State University and Northwest Technical College, and really what that means is I help college students transition from student life to professional life. And that's a pretty individualized process for every student. So it's kind of exciting.
Well, I can imagine that there is no one path that is straight in that process of student life to professional life. I'm guessing there's a lot of twists and turns and bumps and
yes, and I get to be there for it all. So
that's so awesome. They're so lucky to have you.
So as we look at it from a Bemidji perspective, about how many students who come here end up sticking around Bemidji and contributing to the community and in the business and work world?
Well, it's funny. So some of our students, when they come to the area, they're like, well, it's a really great place to go to college. And then partway through, nope, I want to stay in Bemidji forever. So, it's always a pleasure to work with local businesses and hopefully help students continue their lifelong relationship with Bemidji. So,
how many of us, too, are guilty of that? I came to BSU and I was looking at I was going to move to California at one point, and I was going to move by the ocean. And then suddenly I'm just here for the past 16 years.
And very lucky.
Yes.
What a coincidence. I was going to move to California and live on the ocean.
and be a
host
superstar.
Yeah. And here I am.
Show. Love it, Kev.
Instead, I'm hosting Take 10, which is much more fun.
You got it.
Well, if there's one thing you wish people knew about, your job and your role, what would it be?
Well, I work mostly with college students and with local businesses, and I would say college students, it's okay to see a career counselor. We're there to help you. You don't have to have your whole life figured out. And with businesses, I would say college students really want to meet you and talk to you and learn about your business and connect with you. they might have a lot more competing priorities in their life than they may have had 5 or 10 years ago. So it's a little bit different these days. But I know students are so excited about possible opportunities.
Well, and it's so fun. If you haven't done it in a while, go take a walk through campus. It's a beautiful campus. We are so fortunate to have one of the most beautiful universities right on our back door, right on the lake. And the last time I did that, I was like, it's been years since I've been here. And it feels so inspiring when you're there. It puts me back into my 20-year-old days where, the possibilities were endless and learning all these cool things that I didn't know before. So I think you're good. What when you mentioned that they have a million things to do, college students, what are some challenges that college students have right now?
Well, I would say, obviously, the cost of higher ed is going up, and I think that's challenging. Students want to work full-time, and many have complicated lives with families and priorities and jobs, and so we're really just trying to help students, I think, even in the career world, to think about, hey, make sure you're caring about yourself as well as your future economic life, and so, yeah, I think life has just gotten more complicated for everyone.
It makes sense for you, particularly in the career realm, for NTC and Bemidji State to be a chamber member because it gives you great relationships with potential job landings for your students.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I would say, the chamber is invaluable because not only networking, and I kind of chuckle when I say networking because college students are like, networking, that's so stressful. But really, it's just conversation. And I think the thing that I like the most about the chamber is there's opportunity and space for those conversations, and also just being able to talk to a business leader about what's inspiring you right now and what keeps you going, and also how did you get started. And I think just being able to hear those stories, it makes me want to get back in my car and go back to the office and work even harder because it's inspiring.
And believe it or not, we just had a networking Coffee Connections that we did today, and a BSU student contacted me a few weeks ago saying that she wanted to get into marketing and wondering if she could join. And I was like, you know what? You are showing up. You're doing it. We're going to get you that dream job because we want you to stay and we want you to shake hands and meet as many people as possible. So there's some real go-getters coming out of our university right now, and just the skills that these young people are learning is just amazing. I don't know if I could have made it through COVID and everything they did, but this is a really strong generation coming up.
It's exciting. It's
so exciting to see.
What's your biggest challenge right now?
I would say the biggest challenge right now is just balancing. I work with college students. I work with local businesses. I want to give both of them 1,000% of my time. But I think it's just figuring out how can I pair you with the right person. And I think also the world is changing so fast, and college students have competing priorities. Businesses have competing priorities. And so just helping them meet each other. I would say the thing I love the most is, talking to a business leader about, could I have an internship program? Should I have an internship program? What would that look like? But it's a challenge too, because when you take on something like that, mentoring a student is not easy all the time, every day. But I think business leaders have told me again and again, this was so worth our time to host an internship and to meet the student and see them grow over that period of time. So I would say it's the balance between challenge and the things that are challenging and the things that I just love. That's probably the hardest part.
What are some success stories you've seen in the mentorship role from your previous position and the University of Morris to here in Bemidji? Have you seen where businesses have brought on an intern and you've gotten to see kind of like this success story?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, one of the things that employers tell me a lot is probably that this student brought perspective to our organization that we had never thought about. Like, we never realized that we could market our services or our goods more to college students. We had never even thought about that. And then we had a college student come and work for us. We thought, wow, there's this whole line of business that we had not considered this way. I would say that's one of the things that often surprises people about hosting an intern. And I've seen that at many universities, in the places I've worked, because the university is a big part of the community, and sometimes you don't always think about that. But then you talk to a college student, and they're like, oh, yeah, I would spend a lot of money here if you were just doing this.
Oh, man.
So it's often a surprise. And so it's like this accidental benefit of having an intern. So I've heard that. That's kind of a surprising one.
What would you say is the biggest misunderstanding business owners have about students entering the workforce?
Oh, that's a great question. So I would say the biggest misconception that businesses have is that college students are not prepared. They're not going to be mature. They're not going to show up. It's going to be so much work, and it's going to be really tough. I think the other is every college student is a technical genius, and they will know absolutely everything about every possible technology that's out there. And you're going to find some of a little bit of all of that, right? But I think that there's kind of this expectation in the 2022 world that you have to have 2 or 3 internships by the time you graduate from college, because I think students are worried, well, employers aren't going to have faith in me if they haven't seen that I've done this. When in reality, I think like college students are more ready for this process than you might guess. So I would say that's a surprise.
Awesome. So what is the best with all of that technical wisdom? What are the things that like motivate you when things get tough? And I have to ask you this question, and I know we're getting close to our time here, but what's your biggest motivator?
I think the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning is I want more social mobility for more people. I want the community to be better. I want students to have greater access to success, and I want them to be able to do well. And I think you can't do that, in my opinion, without having any access to education. So I feel like what gets me up in the morning is social mobility, access to education. And I'm thinking about that all the time. How can I educate the student about what the job search is going to be like, what the internship is going to be like, how to present themselves to an employer, and hopefully how can they make the next generation better because of that.
Abby broke her own rule.
Awesome. I had to. Kev, what do we have next?
Well, it's time for rapid fire, so you got to reset the clock.
All right.
Because we gotta do a quick minute 15 rapid fire and find out the truth of Cindy Boe.
All right.
When she's done.
All right. Let's
ready
reset
to
it.
Prepare the questions.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Rapid fire.
Hurry up. First question: dogs or cats?
I'm allergic to both, but I love them.
Which one, though?
No. Which one?
Okay, if I wasn't allergic, cats.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, you only had one.
I only had one. Next question. What is your favorite food?
Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
Stacy.
Gotta move.
I love it.
All the popular girls were named Stacy when I was growing up.
So genuine. What keeps you in Bemidji?
The lake.
If you could have unlimited storage of one thing, what would it be?
Bags. I love bags.
Hurry up.
Bags. What was your first job?
I worked at Fleet Farm.
Fleet Farm.
I did as a
And
cashier.
you're allergic to all the animals.
It was part of how I found out.
What is your favorite season?
Summer.
Your favorite color?
Blue.
Where did you grow up?
St. Joseph, Minnesota.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up?
A talk show host.
Well, you're a talk show guest.
Nice.
I almost made it.
Woo. All right. There you have it.
Our time is up. Take 10 plus today. I'm Kev Jackson.
I'm Abby Randall, Executive Director of your Bemidji Area Chamber of Commerce.
And a big shout out to Cindy Boe for joining us today.
Yay. Thanks for having us. I'm glad that we can make your dream of being a talk show host a reality.
I'm so close. This was great. Thanks so much.
Cindy.
Anything else you want to know about the Chamber, go to their website, bemidji.org, www.bemidji.org. We hope you enjoyed your 10-minute break.
This has been Take 10 with the Chamber, sponsored by Pepsi Bottling. Join Abby and Kev next time when we'll meet another great member of the Bemidji Area Chamber of Commerce.